Have you ever noticed how some women don't really express their feelings through long explanations or dramatic statements, but instead through the smallest, quietest things they choose to share with you? The reality is, when a woman starts letting you step into her inner world, it's never random. It always signals something deeper underneath the surface, not just curiosity, not just attraction, something more stable, more meaningful, and more emotionally rooted. In the next moments, you're going to understand the 5 subtle things a woman only begins to share with the man she already feels deeply safe with. And as you move through them, you'll start recognizing the exact point where her emotional defenses begin to soften and disappear without her even realizing it. So stay present with this, because by the final sign, you'll clearly see how emotional closeness actually forms in silence, not in words. Let's begin. Number 5, she starts sharing her unfiltered thoughts. Most people never show their real mental world. They present a controlled, polished version of themselves that feels acceptable and safe for others to see. But something shifts when a woman feels emotionally secure around you. She begins to let her thoughts spill out naturally. Random ideas, late night reflections, small worries she usually keeps inside, even opinions she would normally hold back in public. This is not just casual talking. This is psychological openness. It reflects that her mind no longer feels the need to stay guarded in your presence. Somewhere inside, she has decided that she does not have to carefully edit herself around you anymore. And how you respond here matters more than most people realize. If you judge her, interrupt her, or try to fix what she is saying, she slowly retreats again. But if you simply listen, without pressure, without correction, and without trying to control the direction of her thoughts, something powerful happens. She begins to feel mentally safe with you. And that kind of safety creates emotional attachment far deeper than praise or attention ever could. Now, before we move forward, stay connected with this space. If you want, you can support the energy of growth and awareness here in your own quiet way. And let's continue. Number 4, she shares small personal pieces of her past, not the heavy trauma, not the dramatic heartbreak. Stories. Those often come much later, if ever. What shows up first are the softer fragments of her life. She might mention a teacher she once admired in school, a childhood nickname only her cousins used, a small moment that quietly shaped how she sees herself today. Little memories that seem ordinary on the surface, but actually carry emotional meaning for her. These details only come out when a woman starts feeling that her identity is being understood, not just observed. It is a form of emotional familiarity where she is no longer presenting herself as a stranger, but allowing you to see pieces of who she truly is underneath. And here's where most people miss the opportunity. These small memories are not random. They are emotional keys. When you remember them and bring them up naturally later, it signals something powerful to her subconscious mind. You are actually paying attention, not just hearing her, but truly listening. And that level of presence creates a connection most people never reach, because what she shares in small pieces is always connected to something deeper. She still protects something that becomes more visible in the next sign. Number 3, she shares her fears, not the obvious fears. She talks about lightly, not surface level worries, but the quiet insecurities she rarely admits out loud, the ones she usually hides because she does not want to appear weak, unsure, or emotionally exposed. These fears are different. They are personal, sometimes subtle, sometimes unspoken for years. When she begins to share them with you, it means something important has shifted inside her. She is no longer just comfortable talking around you. She is starting to trust you with parts of herself she usually keeps guarded from the world. This is not about weakness. It is about vulnerability. And vulnerability only appears where emotional safety already exists. And when a woman allows you to see what she is afraid of, she is also quietly showing you something else at the same time. She believes you will not use it against her, dismiss it, or minimize it. That belief does not come quickly. It builds slowly through consistency, calm, presence, and emotional steadiness. Because at this level, she is not just sharing information anymore. She is sharing trust. When a woman allows you to see her emotional pressure points, she is no longer just having a normal conversation with you. She is slowly giving you access to a part of her inner world that is usually heavily guarded, carefully protected, and rarely exposed to anyone outside her deepest circle. This is not casual sharing. This is emotional permission at a deeper level, even if she does not consciously realize it herself. So the real question becomes, what should you actually do in that moment when she opens up like this? The answer is simpler than most people think, but harder to practice in reality. Stay grounded, stay steady. Do not rush in, trying to fix her, correct her, or immediately solve what she is feeling. The instinct to do something is natural, but emotional connection does not grow through fixing, it grows through presence. What truly impacts her in that moment is your calmness. Your emotional stability becomes a signal to her nervous system that she does not need to protect herself around you. She is not being judged. She is not being rushed. And she is not being emotionally handled like a problem. She is simply being heard, and that is rare. Here's a small but very important shift that changes everything in how she experiences you. When she opens up about a fear and insecurity or something that makes her emotionally uncomfortable, do not react with urgency or pressure. Do not try to immediately fix the feeling or push her toward a solution. Instead, respond with patience. Let the moment breathe, sit with what she is saying without trying to escape the discomfort of it. Because when she feels that you are not overwhelmed by her emotions, she begins to relax internally. She starts to feel that her emotional world is safe in your presence, even the messy parts she usually hides. And that kind of emotional steadiness builds trust at a level that reassurance alone can never reach. Now, moving forward, number 2, she shares her real vision for the future. This is very different from surface level conversations about everyday goals. This is not about short-term plans like a job change, a trip she wants to take, or something temporary she is thinking about. This goes much deeper. She starts to reveal the kind of life she actually imagines for herself, the kind of peace she wants to live in, the emotional stability she is searching for, the sense of purpose she wants to grow into over time. Sometimes she may not even express it in a perfectly structured way, but the meaning is there in between her words. This stage only happens when she begins to see you differently, not just as someone passing through her life, not just as someone she is casually talking to, but as someone who might actually understand her enough to walk beside her in the long run. That shift in perception is subtle but powerful. And in this phase, your role is extremely important. Do not turn the conversation into a comparison. Do not start explaining your own achievements just to match her energy or prove your direction in life. That is not what she is looking for in this moment. Instead, slow down your response. Listen more than you speak. Ask thoughtful, open questions that show genuine interest in her inner world. Let her feel that her vision is not just heard, but respected. Because when a woman feels that her dreams are being taken seriously, not brushed aside, not interrupted, and not redirected, something quiet but meaningful changes inside her. Her emotional resistance softens, her openness increases, and without pressure, her attachment begins to grow naturally. Now we move into the most sensitive and revealing layer. Number 1, she shares her emotional triggers. Think back to number 4, where she began sharing small pieces of her past. Those small memories, those personal details were not random. They were the beginning of something deeper. And this is where they eventually lead. When she trusts you enough to show you what hurts her emotionally, what frustrates her on a deeper level, or what causes her to shut down internally, she is doing something very significant. She is giving you access to her emotional wiring. Not just stories, not just memories, but patterns. This is the highest level of emotional closeness because it means she believes you will not misuse what she is revealing. She trusts that you will not weaponize it, dismiss it, or treat it lightly. And that trust is not given quickly. It is built over time through consistency, emotional safety, and the feeling that you are stable enough to hold what she shares without judgment. So what should you do at this level? Handle it with care. Respond with maturity, not ego. Do not minimize her reactions just because they may not make sense to you. Do not dismiss her emotional responses just because they feel unfamiliar. Simply try to understand them without resistance. Because when a man learns how to hold a woman's emotional patterns with patience, awareness, and respect, something very deep begins to form in her subconscious mind. She starts to associate him with safety, not just comfort in the moment, but emotional reliability over time. And that kind of bond is not fragile. It is not easily replaced. It stays. Now, when you step back and look at all 5 signs together, a clear pattern starts to appear. Connection is never random. It is never just luck, timing, or coincidence. Real emotional closeness is built slowly through presence, emotional awareness, and the ability to actually understand another person without trying to control, fix, or change them. Your attention carries more weight than you think. Your presence is either grounding or distracting. Your confidence becomes your emotional anchor, and your self-respect quietly sets the standard for every relationship you allow into your life. And this is the final takeaway. Be mindful of where you place your attention and how you respond to people when they open up to you. Because emotional maturity is not just about what you know, it is about how you show up when someone trusts you with what they feel. Growth often comes not from what you chase, but from what you are willing to understand with patience and clarity.